gets the conversation going.
It does get the conversation going. Hey guys, I'm Hamby. This is Greg,
Hello.
and we're talking Fear the Walking Dead, episode 6, the season finale.
Wrapping it up.
I think it was called A Good Man.
Wrapping it up.
Whatever. We didn't do notes for this episode, so full spoilers ahead. And if you enjoy these videos, please check out the other ones we've done. YouTube.com/HambyPlaysGames. Greg, thoughts? Season finale.
I mean, yeah, I guess they had to leave it with a cliffhanger there at the end, quite literally. Quite literally.
Yeah, they did.
But I wasn't too wild about the ending.
I dug the episode as I was raging at it the entire time. FunnyOrDie.com has a funny 9 things that irritated you about the finale.
A lot of holes.
One of them being the fence made out of adamantium with a force field that none of the military could shoot through.
Yeah.
And then a little ting, 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 ting. I was getting so upset because a bullet hitting a fence and it wouldn't tink. It would actually explode the chain. It would just...
Yeah, you would think that they would just saw down the fence from shooting it so much.
My whole point that I was raging about while I enjoyed it, you guys, I enjoyed the episode. I had a great time. I'm looking forward to the next season.
Yeah.
Can't wait for The Walking Dead to start up next week. We're going to continue these videos.
Exciting. That's good.
I absolutely was that guy going, "Are you kidding me?" Because it was taking me out of the drama a little bit.
Yeah.
What we're referencing is Daniel Salazar's character goes back to the forum, and he releases the zombies. You and I both have a problem with. How did he not get overwhelmed by the zombies as he casually walks back to the compound? Nice night, am I right? Huh? 2,000 zombies are following him. And I don't care how trained or untrained these soldiers were. They had automatic rifles. They've obviously been somehow trained in them, and they know how to hold a compound. They should have been annihilating those zombies, just for the sheer fact they should have been annihilating them.
There was a lot of zombies, though.
There was a lot of zombies. The point being is that I think they skimped on the budget, and that show makes so much money. I don't understand how you skimped on the budget. But what is something you enjoyed of the episode? What from the episode says to you, you know what? Can't wait for next season.
Well, of course we want to know what is it, Abigail is going to lead to? Are they just going to...
Oh, the boat.
Are they just going to live on the boat? How long does that last? You can't live on that boat infinitely.
To add a little bit to that, the executive producer of the show was on the special edition of Talking Dead that was on afterwards.
Oh, yeah, right.
And he made a comment that we have plans for a lot of stuff on the water next year. And what makes that interesting to me is that he mentioned a lot of people had the idea to get on a boat and go out to the water. And that was, what was the zombie movie?
That was
Land of the Dead or
no,
Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead, yeah.
One of them, they wanted to get to a boat and get out to the water because they thought, or get out to this island.
Get out to the island
because they thought they could escape the dead, not realizing that when people die, they come back. So you can't escape the dead as long as you're near another human being.
It's hard to come up with new themes. There's been a lot of zombie things.
Right, and the interesting thing to me was, my first thought after hearing the executive producer talk was piracy. The introduction of not the zombies being a threat, or maybe a whole boat full of zombies could be interesting at some point. But if you're out of the water and you have a luxury yacht and resources start getting scarce, what are you going to do to get more resources? You're going to stand out parties. So it makes me think of, what about small boats of pirates who, you know, these are people trying to survive. They see a target and they want to go get that food.
Well, the whole theme with this show has been more so about people fighting people.
Right.
And the dead is kind of just... I don't want to say
it's a plot point. It's a drama.
Yeah. So that you got that whole thing going on. I kind of find it interesting. Like, are we ever gonna know what caused this? Like, are they gonna tell us? Is there?
And that's actually.
Did I miss something?
That's actually a shout out to one of our followers on Twitter, Oz. Oz asked today a possible topic for the show is the theory of how it happened and. The creator of The Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman, has always said, I will never say what, and honestly, I don't think he knows. I don't think he cares.
Well, I mean, I guess people could always just nitpick. If you came out with something, why not leave it open-ended? Let people use their own imaginations.
Well, and
whatever you
what he's
want
always
to
said
think
is
what
it's
it'll
not
be.
about how they became zombies. It's about how the human beings make bad decisions. How do you make a decision when you're damned if you do, damned if you don't? You know, what if your decision is, I have to steal from Greg to keep my family alive? It's still wrong, but in the apocalypse and resources are scarce, I have to justify, I will steal from you, you will probably die, but my family is okay. And that's really
it's moral
what,
dilemmas
Yeah,
more so than governing bodies.
Right, and that's
policing
why and Robert Kirkman has no desire to ever tell a story about how the outbreak begins, except for Fear the Walking Dead is about how the outbreak begins, but not what begins it.
Well, at least we have that to not look forward to.
Yes. So, and if you do have questions, by all means, you guys, please ask them. But, yeah, that's one of those things the creators have always said they're never going to tell you why. And so for me, I'm like, I don't want to go that road. I want to go the road that the story they're telling me. I want to go to the drama elements. What am I not willing to do?
Yeah.
As me now that in the apocalypse I would do. And I actually asked the question, and we got a lot of feedback on this on Facebook. How quick would it be for you? Would it take seeing one neighbor eat another? Is it 24 hours in when you've had no social media, you've had no power, you don't know what's going on, stuff's going on? I mean, when is it that you would say, I'm gonna get the baseball bat, I'm braining people, I'm gonna take that gun, I'm going to Walmart, I'm gonna stock up, I'm gonna get stuff from Arby's,
obviously.
Well, they mentioned that in the Facebook thread they were talking about. I live near an Arby's, so shout out to Alex and Oz again for commenting on Facebook. But
I don't think that there's any way to answer that question.
It's hard
because you can talk a game all day, but it's all about fight or flight. When it comes down to it, you're not going to know what you're going to do until you're actually in that situation.
In a really weird sense, this kind of hit home for me. There was a huge blackout here in San Diego a couple years ago, and what I mean huge blackout. Multiple blocks in the downtown area and into the residing area. I live in the residing area outside of downtown. The power went out and it was like 10, 12 hours. And I remember how eerie it was driving home. And I remember, wait, do we have candles? And all my roommates came home and our cell phones died. So we had no way of talking about this or being on Twitter or being on Facebook, and all of a sudden we're looking at each other and, well, I will read a book. Oh, it's candlelight. It's really hard to read a book. And there was the moment of, well, we might as well cook everything in the fridge because, we'll throw it on the barbecue. But there was that moment I thought to myself, well, what happens next? What if it doesn't come back?
Yeah.
And I guess that's the question I was trying to ask. And it's hard because if you've not experienced something like that, and I'm not saying 12 hours in, I was going native like Will Ferrell in that SNL skit when he eats the weatherman's head.
Rolling around in the dirt.
Well, I'm wondering, question to you guys.
I've been on Twitter in 12 hours.
Yeah, please hit us up on, as we talk about this, Twitter or Facebook to ask us questions, or even on our YouTube, youtube.com/HambyPlaysGames. But, I mean, going into the next season of The Walking Dead, which starts next Sunday, and we're well established into the zombie outbreak, and we've had years and seasons with these guys. Again, I'm wondering, when do you turn that corner and make the hard choices? And I guess it's really hard to say when that would be, but I'm fascinated by it because I was scared.
Yeah.
I remember being scared during the power outage, and you're like, oh, it'll be back in the morning. But what if it's not? So it's an interesting question.
Well, that's why they have all these survival shows on Discovery and everything, because people are just fascinated by what we would do. Would you be able to survive?
I would not.
With the elements stacked against you?
I would not. I would absolutely not. On that note, do you have a bug-out bag? I don't have a bug-out bag. I have a baseball bat behind my bedroom door, and that's about it as far as zombie apocalypse
I should probably go buy some water.
Something. Sure. Maybe some...
At least.
Crackers and peanut butter. Isn't that what they always said for the earthquake?
I guess.
I'm at Hamby San Diego on Twitter. This handsome gentleman is at @OnTheReg_Greg. Thanks for watching, you guys.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll be back next week with a new episode of The Walking Dead, which is season 6. We'll see you guys next week.
It's going to be awesome.